Welcome to Albania's capital city of Tirana, a place that is becoming more and more popular for many reasons, as you will see in this video. But it's not perfect, and there are some downsides to Tirana we'll discuss as well. Whether you're coming for a short visit or maybe even considering a long-term stay, we'll provide you with an overview of everything we think you should know. My name is Ryan, my wife Emily and I are the Snail Travelers. Skanderbeg Square. All right, my friends, if you have heard anything about Tirana, then you probably could have guessed that I was going to start the video with Skanderbeg Square, because it is the heart of Tirana, has been for over 100 years, and probably always will be. The first time I came here was in 1991, right as the country was transitioning away from communism, and the square at that time to me felt devoid of activity. Now it is lively, it is full of energy, and it is, I think, the best place to start your time in Tirana. And the thing that stands out to me the most about the square is the mural on the National History Museum that you see here. I'll talk more about the inside of the museum later in the video, don't you worry. On another side of the square, you've got the beautiful Opera House. And then on the south side of the square, you'll find the statue of Skanderbeg himself, the national hero of Albania. Now, we think a terrific way to experience Skanderbeg Square is by taking the free walking tour. This tour gives you a deeper insight into not only the square itself, but also some of the historic buildings around the square, such as the beautiful mosque, and also the funky Tirana Pyramid, which has been recently renovated after going through a period of despair. So yeah, a visit to Skanderbeg Square should be at the top of everyone's to-do list here in Tirana, and we give it a thumbs up. The Grand Park of Tirana. If you're living in Tirana or here for a long enough stay to have enough time to enjoy this park, we think it is well worth the visit. It's almost the size of New York's Central Park, just to give you an idea of how big it is. And yeah, you could spend hours here. And many of the local residents of Tirana do just that, especially on the weekends. They come here to walk and get some exercise, or spending time with their family while taking in the beauty of the lakes. So we're going to give a thumbs up for this fantastic park. Well done, Tirana. Transportation. Okay, let me talk about our experience with transportation here in Tirana, starting with when we first arrived here on a minibus from Kruja. We knew there were multiple long-distance bus stations in the city, and we thought we knew which one we would arrive at, but no, we arrived in a whole different area of town. So we decided to take a taxi to get across the city when we first arrived, and that's when we had our next surprise, and that was the price of the taxi. It was about the equivalent of $12 for a short 20-minute ride, which is more than what we paid to get all the way from Kruja in eastern Albania to Tirana. The next transportation issue in Tirana is the traffic. This was a definite surprise to me, I guess because when I came here in 1991, there was literally no traffic. In fact, the private ownership of cars wasn't really a thing back then. And yeah, I know what you're going to say in the comments, that was over 30 years ago, so I should have expected that the traffic situation would have changed. I would say the traffic here reminds me of Istanbul or Bangkok. Yeah, it's that bad. Now, I do have to say that the bus system does come in handy. It's very cheap to ride the bus, something like 40 US cents, although the buses do get a bit crowded on certain routes and at certain times of the day. But there are no trams, trains, or metro system. Maybe someday in the future as Albania continues to progress and become more developed, but for now, sorry Tirana, we're going to give a thumbs down to the transportation in the city. Kruja. Okay, you've been in Tirana a while, you like the city overall, but you want to get away for a day or two, let's say somewhere a little bit more quiet, a little bit more scenic. Well, I've got the perfect place for you. It's called Kruja. It's just an hour bus ride north of Tirana, but it feels like you're in a whole different world. There is a nice Old Town Bazaar area where you can take time to wander down the alleyways, explore the shops and the restaurants, and while you're doing that, you can breathe in some of that clean mountain air. and explore the fortress up on the mountain. So yeah, come to Kruja, enjoy the wildflowers, enjoy the mountains, take in the views, and we think this day trip from Tirana gets a thumbs up. The prices. So one of the reasons you might be watching this video and taking an interest in Albania is because you've heard that it is generally inexpensive for foreigners. Accommodation will most likely be your biggest expense. Let's take a quick tour of an apartment here in Tirana. All right, we made it to Tirana. Let's take a look at our apartment here. There's the front door. And right over here is the bedroom. It's a one-bedroom apartment. We've got 2 separate beds. And if we go this way, we've got the bathroom. Looks pretty nice. We're glad to have a washing machine because we have not done laundry in quite a while. Here's the living room. Nice dining room table. And the kitchen. Gonna do some cooking. Microwave, stove, sink, refrigerator. And then we've got this nice balcony out here. It's huge. Huge balcony, and here's a view of the street. So we're glad to be here. Food prices are fairly reasonable here, both in the grocery store and also eating out in restaurants. Overall, if we were living in Tirana long term, we think we could live comfortably here in the $1,500 to $1,700 range per month for the 2 of us. And check the description below for our sample budget for living in Tirana long term. Overall, we think the cost of living here deserves a thumbs up. The restaurants. Okay, things are about to get tasty, so let's go eat at our favorite restaurants in Tirana, starting at 𝗬𝗏 Garden. And as you can see from the video clips here, that is an appropriate name for this restaurant because it is, indeed, in a beautiful garden. When you come here, expect to have your stomach filled with traditional Albanian food, including 𝗟𝗃𝗁, a cottage cheese dish that you're seeing here, or try out the eggplant stuffed with vegetables if you prefer that. We're going to restaurant 𝗬𝗏𝗕 next, about a 10-minute walk from Skanderbeg Square, where you'll find more traditional Albanian food. The salads here are especially delicious, and it has a nice family-run atmosphere and frequented more by locals than by tourists and expats like us. A thumbs up for these restaurants, and yeah, hit that subscribe button because I'll be talking a lot more about Albanian food in a future video. Quickfire categories. Let's go through each of the rest of the categories, starting with the weather. For us personally, the weather is a little cold in the winter, and the summers are okay, but just a tad too hot. But we're giving the weather a thumbs up, although we would prefer the weather here to be a little bit more mild. It's decent enough. Let's talk about the museums next. The National History Museum in Skanderbeg Square is fabulous, a great way to get an overview of the country and its many centuries of history. And then there are the 2 bunk art museums, which are museums that are located inside communist-era war bunkers. This is a fantastic way to get a glimpse of the difficulties of everyday life under communism. This makes me so thankful that my grandfather, who was born in Albania, was able to leave the country before all of this hardship came about. Allergies. Okay, this isn't something you've heard me talk a lot about in our videos, but I personally really struggled with allergies in Tirana from the pollen in the air, constant itchy eyes, and sneezing for me. This may not apply to you and may also depend on the time of year that you are here. Safety is going to get a thumbs up. Although Tirana is a big city and there is some crime here, we felt safe overall. I also want to give a thumbs up to the expat community here in Tirana, which is larger than you might think, and it's easy to get connected through the expat Facebook groups. And finally, although I complained about the traffic, the drivers do generally stop for pedestrians, and overall, we think Tirana is a walkable city. So there you have it. We had a great time here in Tirana, but hey, Albania, you're not getting rid of us anytime soon. We've got more videos coming from Albania and all over the world, so you really should hit that subscribe button, don't you think? Here we have another video for you to watch. And also check out this playlist to see our collection of destinations from all over the world. Thanks for traveling with us.